that she goes out to L.A., gets on a platform, and chooses to put on this kind of act and demonstration is very discouraging.
Yes.
And it's beneath, I think, of a member of Congress, and
Yes.
And very disappointing. I've heard some talk around here of some members in Texas, from Texas, that have even talked about a censure for that. I don't know if that's going to get legs and where that's going to go, but I do think it is, again, just the height of insensitivity and crudeness to speak of the good governor of Texas in this way.
The fight to stop the billionaire takeover of our government and of our country and of our democracy.
So we're teaming up on this fight too. This weekend, we are going to Michigan, where we're going to hold a town hall in one of these congressional districts where the Republican incumbent is hiding from his constituents.
That's why I am introducing an amendment to slash the reporting threshold from $50,000 all the way down to $1. Total transparency of every cent. Any foreign gift, no matter how small, can influence our democracy, and we must close any loophole that lets foreign actors purchase access or sway our institutions. This is not about research. This is about human intelligence collection and business espionage.
It prohibits an individual or a business that that individual is associated with from receiving assistance from the Small Business Administration if they were convicted of financial misconduct in relation to the SBA's pandemic programs. It does have some carve-outs, provides an exception for disaster loans from this prohibition. If an individual who previously perpetrated fraud against the SBA should not be eligible for SBA assistance, and this bill ensures the SBA and American taxpayers are further protected from fraudulent actors.
But this is criminal behavior, right? They likely violated multiple laws, the Espionage Act, the Presidential Records Act. And so there has to be criminal investigations as well here. I mean, if the criminal code doesn't apply to powerful people, it only applies to people without power, then we don't have rule of law in this country.
But President Trump is talking about people who attacked this building, our offices, our staff, our democracy. He's talking about people who smashed windows in that we walk by every day, people who brought bats and weapons to the halls where we meet our constituents, people who beat the Capitol Police, who keep us safe every day, to the Capitol Police who are standing guard even now, who sit right outside this chamber. These are violent criminals, and President Trump is talking about them like heroes.
These big cases are all headed to the Supreme Court eventually, and I think there's a lot of noise with these district court rulings that make their way through the appellate courts, but particularly on the case that you're highlighting, the deportations of the violent gang members from Venezuela. The president has the apex of his authority is longstanding law, the Youngstown Steel case from 1952, when there's a congressional delegation of that authority, like immigration laws, and core Article 2 powers, the commander-in-chief power. So by the president invoking the Alien Enemies Act, he has that power.
This week during a cabinet meeting, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem had a suggestion.
We're going to eliminate FEMA, so we've got a lot to do.
And while her comments may have riled Democrats on Capitol Hill,
I think it's dangerous. It's the wrong idea at the wrong time.
This is an incredibly bad idea.
In fact, I think that's the reason that the agenda under President Trump has moved to where it needs to be, and that is that the states kind of organize and run their own recovery, and the federal government gets them the support that they need financially to be able to do that. But I am proud of the firefighters. We do have some that have been in my district because I have part of the Uwharrie National Forest there in Montgomery County in my 8th Congressional District, but they are being managed and are being under control.
For the first time in American history, a president is using his authority to cancel nearly $3 billion with a B in unnecessary emergency spending. Get this, $750 million in taxpayer money that once went to NGOs, non-governmental organizations, fueling the border crisis, gone.
The reason this became important to me is because I know of 2 airmen who sought mental health care at Grand Forks and were denied by TRICARE, who are no longer with us because they ultimately chose to take their own lives. all because of this one accreditation that wasn't. I don't know what would happen had they been able to get the care that was available to them. But the bill that we passed, that's part of the NDAA, it basically says if access in the state fails to meet standards for more than 12 months consecutive, then we have to look at something different. Now,
I don't mind reciprocal tariffs. If somebody's charging us a tariff, it should be fair. But by and large, free trade should be the goal. It's the best for the consumer. So when you have free trade, you're giving the best products at the best price, the most efficient manner possible. And that's what free trade offers. Tariffs, in the end, hurt consumers. So, Wolf, I support reciprocal tariffs, but we are better off if we have free trade.
Well, yes, if this happened at a lower level, the chain of command would require that those individuals that were responsible for this breach of our intelligence protocol would be held accountable. And I think this should be no exception. If people of our military and our Central Intelligence Agency are required to follow the law, so should those at the highest level.